And the circus goes on. Who were the stupid bitches that confronted Jeff Flake? So, unfortunately, this guy was confronted by two hags, well, three hags, I think, two hags, who aggressively went at this senator, who has now voted yes, but on the condition it goes to an FBI investigation. He made a final yes vote on the House floor, conditional on an FBI investigation. That's fine. I think everybody would be happy with that. But the thing is, this case, exactly reminiscent, well, not exactly, but reminiscent of the was it Anita Hill? With the, I've forgotten the judge's name, Clarence. Is it Clarence Thomas? I've got the same feeling here that there was something about that case that I didn't feel comfortable with, because I believe in that case that the two of them had some form of relationship, sexual relationship. And I am surmising that he had probably promised her certain things that he obviously must have reneged on, didn't follow through. Because when he moved from one particular office to another office, I don't know what distance it was, but she moved to the same office, knowing full well that he was there. Yet she went there. She didn't refuse the post. She went there. So some people said, "Oh, well, it was only her only opportunity because it meant a stepping stone from there." But if you believe that you've been sexually assaulted or harassed by a particular person, and you go to work in virtually the same department, once they've moved out of that department, and you end up moving from that old department to where he's working, I'm sure that some people say, "No, I'm not taking the job, don't want it." I think that the two of them had an affair and it turned sour. But both of them couldn't admit to this affair, because if she'd admitted that there was an affair, her credibility should have lost credibility. If he had admitted to the affair, his marriage would have. I don't know if his marriage was broken up or not, but he was protecting his marriage. So the two of them had a lot to lose if they admitted that they'd had an affair. This Ford Kavanaugh, again, the woman is behaving very strangely. This is a 51-year-old woman who looks much older, way, way older. I mean, I'm talking, she looks like in her 60s. And she's trying to behave like a little wee girl with a kitty-like voice. Pretty. I don't know why she thinks she's pretty. She's talking a very girlish voice. This is a 51-year-old woman trying to garner sympathy. There's a few body experts who are really looked into her behaviour, the way she's talking. Some of her information doesn't line up, and they are not convinced that she's either telling the whole truth. They believe something's definitely happened to her. She was assaulted, but was it by Kavanaugh? Or was it by somebody else? Was it by the guy who was in the other guy in the room? Um, the other thing about it is that, see, people will say you can't bring that issue in, that she was 15 years of age with 17-year-olds, maybe 18-year-olds, in a house where people were drinking, all sorts of things were going on. Maybe something happened between her and Kavanaugh. Maybe she agreed to have sex with him, but it turned out, being 15, maybe she'd never done it before, I don't know, and it was traumatic for her because he may have been a little bit rough, didn't do it correctly. I don't know. There's something just it doesn't seem right. But this Flake guy was confronted by these lunatics in the lift. Nobody was there to help this guy. This is a senator. I think what this now really sort of they must now start protecting these people. What happens if these lunatics had a knife or a gun or something like that? Anything. People have got to stop be able to get close to these guys here. It's just not on. Especially the way people behaving and acting, with the Republicans now. They've just got to be careful. So they confronted him in the lift. Two young women passionately confronted the senator in a lift. He was en route to vote yes and help clear the path for a man accused of sexual assault to assume one of the country's highest office. And then this is the thing that I find incredible. The evil arrogance of people. Look at me when I'm talking to you. This is a guy, who's much older than this dishevelled old witch. Okay? And she's saying, look at me when I'm talking to you. What you are telling me is my assault doesn't matter. When did he say that her assault doesn't matter? Just because he's voting? Because he doesn't believe at this moment that he committed this supposed assault. Something is not right. 36 years later, she brings out this thing. She was 15, 36 years later. I think there's got to be in law now that you're given 10 years. If you don't come forward, I think 7 to 10 years, then that's it. It's null and void. You get on with your life, shut your mouth. If you then accuse this person without, especially if you didn't come forward within that period of time, then you can be sued or even, prosecuted. This is nonsense. People need to come out much earlier. All right. We're now at an age where people can come out and say what they need to say. It's understandable maybe 20, 30 years ago. But now people should be able to come out. Any assault that occurs to you must be reported. Okay, must be reported. Because this is not the way to do it. If you get assaulted, you must really report it to the police. So here we go. And then he just, thank you. A seemingly embarrassed Jeff finally mumbled. Earlier, the senator had said he planned to support Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, despite testimony on on Thursday from the accuser. Yeah, because there's something about her testimony that is not strong. I mean, there's even a lady who was the lady who was raped by, allegedly raped by Bill Clinton. Her information is solid. You know, it's solid. She had a witness that was there who came into the room, saw her bloodied and injured. There were, and there was other things that were to corroborate it. And she didn't. I don't think she left it 36 years later to come out. But yeah, I mean, she was obviously worried. She had Clinton was I think, prosecutor or whatever he was in the area that she was working. He handed her all the contracts and the jobs, so she was clearly, obviously, terrified of reporting him. There are reasons why people don't come forward. I fully understand. But the point is that if this occurred when she was 15 and this boy was 17, i.e., he was underage, he was a young boy, she could have still reported it. She could have taken this to her parents and said, "This is what happened to me." And to this day, we would have heard about it because they could have gone to the police station, at least this would have been on record that she came and reported. So that if she came today, then it would have been much more credible. Because if Kavanaugh had gone to the police station and then they'd proven it, then it would have been on record. Even if they didn't prove it, at least it would have shown that she went to the police station and reported it. But she didn't do any of this. Here we go. After a few minutes, it was over. A moment in time encapsulating women's outrage about sexual violence. Oh God! Video of it spread like wildfire on social media as thousands applauded her bravery, but no one guessed what its impact might be. Hours later, Senator Flake changed his mind as he faced the Senate Judiciary Committee. He made a final yes vote on the House floor, conditional on an FBI investigation into the assault allegation by Miss Ford. So, but he's saying, look, I'm still voting yes, but I want an FBI investigation. Okay, so he's partially changed his mind. Good. I think it's good. Let's have an FBI investigation. It says here, and finally, the women who seem to help reverse the Senate's decision make themselves known. Here we go. 15 minutes of fame. They're now immortalised in the media. There you go. Bunch of hags, mentally deranged. You might think I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy. You need to report any sexual assault that occurs to you. There is no excuse. I'm not interested in it. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to believe. Why do you think that we should believe you now? If something happened to you at 5 years, as this woman said, let's have a look. Look at the way she's talking. He wouldn't meet my eyes. It made me very angry. Jesus Christ, if someone's coming to a lift, you're going somewhere and a lunatic is shouting in front to your face, and people sometimes show sympathy by looking down or looking away from that person because They're a little bit embarrassed about the situation, and she's just standing there. He wouldn't meet my eyes. What's that going to do? What does that mean? What does that mean? It's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. That's why sometimes I have very little sympathy for people. There's a way of conducting yourself. We all go through horrible things in life. Okay, we all go through horrible things in life. Okay, but there's a way of conducting yourself, regardless. And so this woman is 39-year-old mother of two, had spent a week in Washington, blah, 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 talking nonsense. She said, the executive director, oh, wow, here we go. Publicity time, The executive director of Non-Profit Center for Popular Democracy, so that means that she's getting a lot of money from the government to run the center, told the New York Times that she was assaulted when she was 5. There we go. So Jeff Flake was confronted on video by sexual assault survivors. Cool. So yeah, I mean, this is a case of 15 minutes of fame. Helps to publicize their so-called organisation. So I'm not going to read through this. I'm not going to read through this.
Don't look away from me. Look at me and tell me that it doesn't matter what happened to me.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So you heard the lunatic saying something there. You might think I'm being insensitive, but here we go. We believe. Yeah. Dr. Ford is telling the truth. How do these people know? Were they there? Do we fully know? I mean, I wish God could come down from the heavens, stand in front of everybody, and just give us the truth and say, this is nonsense. This didn't occur, or this did occur, and just administer the punishment that they and everybody. I mean, if this woman's lying about what occurred, how it was occurred, this is the problem. People are finding it. As I said before, there are experts out there, both men and women, who are looking at this woman's body language, and they are feeling very uncomfortable. They feel that this woman is not really telling the truth. Not telling the truth. So Trump top court pick faces FBI probe. Yeah. Yeah, so this seems to, this is Anita Hill all over again. So, yeah. Well, anyway, that's my 2 pennies worth. I hope Kavanaugh goes through. I hope the FBI, show there wasn't any, there's no, they're going to do their investigation, and hopefully nothing is. They'll find nothing. They should not find anything. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for listening.